I believe the AMV community is about to change forever. And here's why. Hey everyone, Wyatt here. I want to demonstrate a new feature in DaVinci Resolve Studio 18 that I sincerely believe is going to completely revolutionize the AMV game, at least for those who know about it. This is the Object Mask tool, which is new to DaVinci Resolve 18. Now, if you're familiar with Adobe After Effects as an AMV editor, you might know of the Roto Brush. Simply click and drag over an object to more or less mask it out. However, if you know it like I do, you'll know that it's very hair pulling to try and get good, clean masks out of. One try, it could be great. Another try, it's awful. And it's really everywhere in between. However, DaVinci Resolve Studio, thanks to Blackmagic, incorporated their new object and person masking tools in DaVinci Resolve Studio 18, and they're incredible. And I want to show you guys today, very quickly, to show you just how powerful this is and how much it's going to change the game for creating masks. Now, I don't want to talk too long about exactly what masking or rendering is, but for those of you who don't know, in AMVs, you may notice that characters or objects may be on top of the scene, almost like stickers, in ways that they're not supposed to, or characters moved from one anime to an entirely different anime or different scene. This process is called cutouts, or renders, or masks. It's got several different terms that people use to describe it. I use the term render, some people use masks. Anyway, regardless of what you want to call it, that's what it is. You're cutting out, basically tracing around your object frame by frame. This has been done for many years, even before non-linear and linear editors alike had these tools. People used to export frames one by one and edit them in image editors to get rid of the background completely manually. We're going back to the anime equivalent of hand-drawn animation. That's how dedicated people have been with this. But the tools have been improving. After Effects introduced the Roto Brush, which changed the game, but unfortunately proved to be too difficult for many people to use with the AMVs because it just wasn't very good with the solid colors. Roto Brush 2 came out, and I will admit, as an After Effects user, it's a lot better, but I still can't use it consistently. It's just better to pen mask it out. That's no longer the case. DaVinci Resolve Studio 18's Object Mask is that good, and I want to show you now. To get started, we need to jump over to DaVinci Resolve Studio's color page. Simply click the color page down here, and you'll end up in this interface. For those of you who have used Resolve, you'll know this page pretty well, and if you haven't, don't get overwhelmed. It's mostly just stuff you don't need to worry about. The only thing you need to worry about if you're going to try and recreate this is that you're on the Magic Mask tab of the interface here. You may be on Curves or any of these other panels, just make sure you're on Magic Mask. You can see which one it is by hovering over it. Now, we're going to be tracking forwards and backwards in time because this demo clip, Chisato from Lycoris Recoil, she raises her hand into the air and waves it around. We need to make sure when we're tracking our mask, yes, this is going to track over time, that the tracker has data for when the hand is not only moving, but also as it's being pulled out of frame, which for our case actually happens at the beginning, where it enters frame. If you're tracking from the beginning, it won't know the hand exists. So you want to start somewhere in the middle when you do these forwards and backwards tracks. Now that we're here, we're ready to go. On the right side, you'll see our nodes. I'm not going to give you a full breakdown of Resolve and all of its nodes, but in a nutshell, we want to stay organized. We don't want to modify our source footage. We want to add on top of it. So we're going to create a node that's going to store all of our masking. To create this node, all we're going to have to do is click Alt-S. We can right click and create add node, but we can also just use the hotkey Alt-S to add a new serial node. This node, we're then going to right click and label. If you're following along, this is, again, optional, but I like to be organized. Simply give it a label so you can identify what it is. For me, Alpha Mask is fine. Then, we're going to want to make sure that we have our plus pen tool selected, and very importantly, we want to make sure that we have toggle mask overlay turned on. This is going to, very similarly to After Effects, generate a red painting over whatever we're masking so we can see what we're selecting. Now that we have that turned on, literally all we have to do is paint over our subject. But before we do that, we want to change our quality from faster to better. Faster is easier on your hardware. Better is obviously more taxing, but will produce better results. However, very important, I've found that with anime, it doesn't do a very good job on faster. It's alright, but it takes a lot more finessing. However, when I turn on better, I don't need to do almost any finessing at all. So make sure you're on better. We have additional settings down here that we can tweak, but for most masks, you don't need to. So now that we have that done, we are finally ready to simply click and drag a simple stroke over the object we want to mask, and then release the mouse button. It's going to take a moment to render, and once it's done, you'll see a red painting on top of our mask. Done. Now let's mask it out. And if you want, you can take a look. Let's zoom in and see just how precise our mask is. It got right up to the edge. You can see a little bit of the red inside of the outline for the edge here. It's very, very, very precise. But, one frame is nothing. You could pen this out, maybe 30 seconds if you're really good at masking. It's where the tracking comes in that it's actually incredible. So let's fix our viewport real quick. Just go up here and hit fit. We don't need to, but let's stay organized. Now, simply click the track forwards and backwards in time button. It's going to track, it's going to go forwards, then it's go backwards. It's currently tracking, 71 frames remaining, it's doing it. There's your motion forwards and there's backwards. And here's the mind-blowing part about this tool. If we zoom in here, in the clip, there is baked in motion blur of her hand moving into frame. It's to give smear lines to make it look fast. It blurs and feathers the mask to look more natural. That is something RotoBrush does not do. Now, let's jump over to our edit page and take a look at our result. You may notice that we don't see a missing background, which, oh no, did it not work? Did we not do it correctly? We did, but we forgot one step. We have this alpha node here, this alpha output here, but if you notice, our green is connected to our green, our blue, it's not connected to anything. All we have to do is right click and hit add alpha output. From here, connect the blue down to the blue and release. Let's go back to our edit page. And just like that, we're done. Now let's take a look here. Let's play it. It's nearly flawless. In fact, with this demo, I don't see a single issue. And you might point out in the comments that I'm missing something, but let's take a look. It captured her outline of her fingers individually with near perfect accuracy. Outlines are something After Effects, for whatever reason, doesn't like to do. Perhaps it's because of the contrast, the edge of the dark line against the white skin. I'm not sure, but this, despite not being for anime, did it nearly perfectly. In motion. Move a frame, take a look. It's nearly flawless. I genuinely think that this is going to change the way AMVs are made, at least for anybody editing in DaVinci Resolve. And if you're not, at this point, I think you should be. Anyway, thank you for checking out this video. I hope you found it, if not helpful, then interesting. And I will see you all in the next video. I've got some very good AMVs coming up. I hope you're looking forward to them. Bye-bye.